you know, a lot of people say, why don't I hear Muslims condemning acts of violence and terrorism? Well, folks, don't labor under the illusion that because as an individual you might not be hearing something or seeing something, that it's not being said or not being done. We all have limitations on our own experience that keep us from hearing and seeing some very important things that we need to hear and see. Muslim leaders around the world constantly condemn attacks resulting in the death and injury of innocent civilians, such as those of 9/11/01, the November massacre in Mumbai, the winter 2009 Israeli siege of Gaza. So not only when the violence is against innocent non-Muslims, but also when it's against innocent Muslims as well. It is true that you're not going to get these condemnations on the front page of the New York Times or is it the Pittsburgh Courier? I'm not sure what your local newspaper is. Why that is, you would have to ask your local media outlets. It's partly because if it bleeds, it reads. So if there are statements about peace and solidarity, they don't quite get the publicity that acts of violence, you know, actually get.
My name is Richard Freeman. I'm the pastor of the Resurrection Baptist Church in Braddock and a member of the Pittsburgh Interfaith Impact Network. Tonight we are to gather together in our community action to advocate and demand on issues of justice that we believe are very important. Those issues tonight are issues surrounding gun violence, wherein one of our past president's son was killed last week due to senseless gun violence. We are advocating for better public education, encouraging more needed parental and community involvement. We are advocating for changes in federal, state, and local laws regarding immigration as well as racial profiling. We're advocating very seriously for the issues related to mass transit cuts that are targeted to cut about 35% of the routes in southwestern Pennsylvania. We can't have those things happen, and we believe those are strong issues of justice. And there's communities of faith, Jews, Muslims, Christians, and all who are like-minded. We've gathered together tonight to fight and ask and demand of our public officials that changes be made.
Good evening. My name is Liz Dell, and I am a member of Allegheny Unitarian Universalist Church on the North Side. Thank you. Public transportation is the lifeblood of a modern urban region such as ours. Much of Pittsburgh's population relies on it in their everyday lives. 50% of downtown workers, students, and shoppers use public transit to get there. Public transit is the only way for thousands of other Pittsburghers to get to doctor's offices, daycare centers, grocery stores, places of worship, and the homes of friends and family.
A number of things. As a pastor, I've had the experience of having to bury, in my 6-year tenure, I've buried 6 young persons who've been killed senselessly by violence. As a pastor, I see in a community of Braddock, Pennsylvania, a lot of kids who don't view education as a means to their future success. So we have to change that paradigm if we're going to be successful going forward. I'm one of those guys that also still get on the bus and make it to work. So if they cut transit, my ability to get to work will be impeded and I'll have to start driving my car again, something I really don't want to do.
People who don't ride buses or the T also benefit from public transportation, which reduces gridlock on the roads they drive and pollution in the air they breathe. But public transportation in the Pittsburgh region is threatened by a severe funding shortage. The Port Authority of Allegheny County faces a $47 million cut in expected state funding next year. If they don't get the money, by the end of the year, the Port Authority will cut service by 35% in March. If this happens, 41 routes will be eliminated altogether, and many more will be severely reduced. Bus riders will wait longer and walk farther to use the system. Some neighborhoods will have no service at all. Many buses will stop running at night, leaving second and third shift workers stranded. Older riders won't be able to get to shopping or doctor's appointments. Cuts this severe will hurt our economy and our environment. People will lose jobs and businesses will close. Why is Port Authority facing this massive funding shortage? The problem exists at two levels, state and federal. At the federal level, Congress has yet to act on reauthorizing a multi-year national transportation law, leaving transit agencies around the country in the dark as to how much federal funding they can expect in the coming years. At the state level, money that was budgeted for public transit evaporated when the federal government denied the state's request to toll Interstate 80. Many legislators tried this year to develop and pass an alternative solution that would draw funding from a variety of sources. This bill is currently going nowhere. It remains in committee in the State House, and the State Senate has adjourned for the year. We need immediate action at both levels to stop this, or the quality of life in Pittsburgh will diminish in real and immediate ways. Thank you.